What is a two-part question? In IELTS Writing Task 2, there are different sorts of questions you may be asked. One of them is called the two-part question. It's most commonly called a two-part question because it contains two distinct questions. Of course, some other questions also contain two parts. For example, a problem and solution essay is two parts. However, what we mean by a two-part question is one that contains two questions. The reason this is sometimes called a direct question task is that the questions themselves are more direct than other IELTS writing task 2 question types, which instruct candidates to explore an idea. This is rather vague, whereas the two-part question is very specific. Two-part question examples. To understand this idea better, let's look at an example two-part question. In education and employment, some people work harder than others. Why do some people work harder? Is it always a good thing to work hard? Okay, the first thing that you may notice is that there are three parts to this question. However, the first part is actually a leading statement. It's not particularly important. The parts that you need to address in your essay are two questions. This is why some people say two-part question and others say direct question. Here's another example. Happiness is often considered difficult to define. Why is this? What factors determine happiness? Here the first question contains a pronoun this, which refers back to the idea in the first sentence. In other words, the first question is why is it often considered difficult to define happiness? Finally, here is one more example question. Success is often measured by wealth and material possessions. Do you think wealth is the best measure of success? What makes a successful person? As you can see by now, each question has three parts, an introductory statement and two individual questions. You will see this exact format used with numerous IELTS topics. Sometimes the leading statement will be very long and sometimes the questions quite closely linked. Other times the statement may be short or the questions asking quite different things. How to answer two-part questions? The first thing to remember is don't panic. Two-part questions often make students a bit nervous, but really they are not so bad. They are no more difficult to answer than the other IELTS Task 2 question types. In fact, this type of question may even be the easiest one to answer. Why? Also, the questions themselves are sometimes a bit challenging. There are direct questions. This means that it is less likely you will stray off topic while writing. In other words, your task is actually more straightforward than it would be with an agree-disagree question, for example. Analyzing the question, let's look at an example question so we can analyze it. This is the first thing you should do in any IELTS Writing Task 2 essay, and it's important to spend a minute or two thinking carefully about it. Structuring a two-part question essay. Thankfully, it's not difficult to create a perfect two-part essay structure. In fact, it's very easy. Here is a basic essay template. Introduction, answer first question, answer second question, conclusion. Simple,